A popular theory of how Yellowstone will end involves two characters that never even appeared on the show. In fact, these two died over 100 years ago, but are essential to what's about to happen if you believe Taylor Sheridan has known what he's doing all along. Try to follow along. Some math is required, but it should all add up.
But you know this, that in 7 generations, my people will rise up and take it back from you.
In 7 generations, you can have it.
That was a Crow elder named Spotted Eagle telling James Dutton, as played by Tim McGraw in 1883, that he could settle on an area of land in Montana that was previously home to Native Americans. 1883 aired 3 years ago. Maybe you forgot, maybe you didn't even watch. Key points here: 7 generations, the indigenous people will rise up, and James Dutton says, y'all can have it. I think that last time has been forgotten over time, but it's really relevant now. Some backstory if you didn't watch 1883 or just kind of forgot how it all went down. James and Margaret Dutton are the original Dutton settlers in Montana. This would be, arguably, Kevin Costner's John Dutton's great-great or great-great-great-grandparents. The reason that James was looking for land kind of spoils the end of 1883, and it's such a great show, I don't want to do that. Let's just say the Duttons were in a bind, and they needed a place to rest when they came upon Spotted Eagle.
I know what's coming. This, where we put her in the ground is where we stay, and I gotta find that place fast.
Okay, so now let's count. 7 generations. And I'm gonna count James as one, although one could argue the first generation that Spotted Eagle was referring to would be James Dutton's kids. I'll explain that shortly. Second would be his son, John Dutton Sr., who marries Emma and raises Jack Dutton, Generation 3. He's in the other Yellowstone prequel, 1923, by the way. So is the first John Dutton Sr., but, spoiler alert, not for very long. The next part is speculation, but the belief is that Jack and his wife Elizabeth or Spencer and Alexandra give birth to another John Dutton, later played by Dabney Coleman. That's 4. 5 would be Kevin Costner's John Dutton. 6 is Beth, Lee, Kayce, and Jamie. 7 is Kayce and Monica's son Tate, who is half Native American, as Monica grew up on the Broken Rock Reservation. You see the complete circle there. Chief Rainwater is CEO of the Broken Rock Reservation, and that descends from Spotted Eagle, so his people acquiring the Yellowstone after all of this time would be very fitting, and at this point it seems like Beth and Kayce agree with James McGraw that
In 7 generations, you can have it.
she wants to leave with Rip. Kayce is choosing his nuclear family over the ranch.
I just want to be close to you.
I'll be at home. Unless this is our home.
No, here's not our home.
Jamie's gonna get killed or go to jail. The only ones who want it are the state, but with market equities gone, there's no airport to build any longer, and of course, Rainwater. I'm gonna avoid the temptation of saying exactly how this happens, other than to say that this clip from a trailer of Season 5 is fascinating after hearing Spotted Eagle say that his people will rise up.
This knife, where's my blood?
This knife, where's mine?
We were brothers down.
The 7 generation thing only works though if you count James as Generation 1, which is kind of odd because I guess I'd argue that a generation doesn't pass until kids come along.
And in 7 generations, my people will rise up and take it back from you.
Spotted Eagle says in 7 generations. If he had said in 1 generation, I don't think anybody would argue that he meant today. However, and this is getting in the weeds of the Dutton family tree business, for Dabney Coleman's John Dutton to be Generation 4 like I showed you, he'd have to have lived to be about 100 years old, and he just doesn't look that old. But what if there was another generation between Jack and Spencer Dutton, Generation 3, and Dabney Coleman's John Dutton? A new Yellowstone prequel called 1944 is likely to explain this, but we've not heard anything about that since the show was rumored to be coming a year or so ago.
But you know this, that in 7 generations, my people will rise up and take it back from you.
In 7 generations, you can have it.
I'm Billy Dukes with Taste of Country. Thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing.